Hey everyone, welcome to the weekly update. I'm back. And with being back, I wanted to show you the FX4 to start the week. As you can see, all the FX6s that we had on sale for the last 2 months are pretty much gone. And now we've decided, or Guy has decided, to put the FX4 on sale. You can check out one of the videos that we have with Andrew on the site to see how they go together and how it looks, how it works, everything like that. But what I will tell you is we have a ton of these out in service. It is my favorite canister to work on. It is simple, it's easy, and it's incredibly effective. So if you've been in the market for anything like a nice canister filter, you want a hands-free or a trouble-free canister filter, this one would definitely be a fantastic one. This one will do, I think, up to a 200-gallon tank. It says 250, but I wouldn't push it past a 180. But it is a fantastic filter, and we have a ton of them in service. Now on to the update. So the koi are dwindling. We've got to try to get some more, but I've got a lot of great, wonderfully friendly young ones that are not afraid of anything. If you've got a pond, koi, it's still not too late. You've got several months, maybe even up to November to try to get a couple of these. I will tell you, as somebody who has 3 ponds in their yard, that having koi and having a relaxing place to have a glass of wine in the late afternoon is not necessarily an expensive endeavor, but very rewarding. It's very cool to have these guys, and they get very, very personal. I think the most personable of all fish. So if you have never tried koi or have ever entertained doing a garden pond, I'd strongly suggest coming in and just talking to one of us about it. There are a lot of different ways to do it and a lot of different budget ways to do it, but they can be really, really, really cool. Okay, so yesterday when I came in, Hayden grabbed me by the collar, yanked me over to the African cichlid section of the store, and was like, hey, you have got to see these. Look at these peacocks. We always talk about beautiful colored peacocks whenever they come in, and I usually show them. And usually about 7 of the 10 look really good, but that is not the case this week. Every single one has an incredible, incredible foray of color. These would be perfect in any kind of Tanganyika tank or peacock type tank. They're only going to get more colorful the older that they get, but if you've been in the market for them, or you have an African tank and you just want to add that spot of color, what hardier, more colorful fish could I sell you than one of these African peacocks? I don't have a lot of these this week, and everybody that knows me knows I'm not a huge live bearer guy, but these Sailfin Mollies that came in yesterday are absolutely phenomenal. Lots of pretty mollies and guppies came in yesterday, but these Sailfins I really wanted to show you because they're outstanding. These as well, some different colored variants of that same fish, but we've got them kind of spread out, but really phenomenal looking fish. Okay, Serpe tetras. I usually don't point them out in a video because they're a very common fish, but they're my favorite fish to start any freshwater tank. They're hardy, they adapt well in a lot of different type of fish situations as you build your tank, especially if it's a communal type tank. These have some exceptionally beautiful red color already showing up, and they just came in really, really nice. Very hard to find a hardier beginning fish for your aquarium. If you've been thinking about starting a freshwater tank, this is a phenomenal fish to cycle a tank with, and they look good just in a school, and we had a nice school, so I wanted to show you. Bolivian Rams came in this week. This is a fantastic dwarf cichlid. You can keep them in a community type tank, and that can't be said for a lot of different types of cichlids. These are pretty desirable when we can get them in. They've already got a good size to them as far as the girth of the fish. Very, very beautiful fish. Okay, so let's talk about a really cool, really different fish we don't have very often, the Payara. The Payara is a fish that comes from South America. It is a Saber-Tooth tetra, so it is a bad boy. It is a very large form of tetra, or in the family of tetra fish. It gets these saber-tooth teeth that will jut out of its mouth. It can get up to about 8 pounds, believe it or not, and 1.5 feet long. These are very young individuals right now, so you do have to house them in an aggressive tank. as that's pretty much what they exude. As you can see, we've got, I think, 3 of them that came in. They're not very common to us. We can't get them all the time. It's early morning. We've just turned on the light. Yesterday they were swimming around really nice, but they're just kind of waking up right now. Definitely worth a look if you come in. And if you've got the right kind of tank with larger bodied fish, they're not going to fight or attack anything that is their size or larger. So if you've got some fast moving fish and a larger tank, you're going to be okay with these guys, but they are something very unique I wanted to point out. 1, maybe 2 fire eels. He just came out, and this almost never happens. Usually they stay half buried. This is probably one of the prettiest eels that we sell in freshwater. This is a fairly young individual, so he could go in almost any type of tank. There he goes again. A lot of these types of eels spend most of their time 2/3 buried in the substrate, but this is a very, very beautiful eel, cool eel that gets a beautiful red mark all the way down the body. So if you've been in the market for something cool and different for your tank, a fire eel might be the fish for you. As we're filming, I just noticed a Geophagus species that I have not seen before. It doesn't mean we haven't had it, I just haven't seen it. It's the Winemilleri. Don't know a lot about this Geophagus, but I know the aficionados out there that love these types of cichlids probably do, and it's worth mentioning and showing you that we have them. Great assortment of small clown loaches. These guys haven't colored up yet. They're fairly young, but as you can see, they're super active, super hardy. They just came in yesterday. Definitely want to point those out, as they're a fantastic bottom-dwelling fish for eating leftover foods and things like that on the bottom. They live a very long time. They get some serious size to them without causing any trouble in the aquarium, so they're very adaptable in a lot of different types of aquaria. We got in some fairly large Florida gar this week. You can see kind of my hand comparatively to the size that they came in. I got a pretty fat hand. And you can also see that they came in some different color morphs as well. I got 3 of these. They came in yesterday. They look great, very healthy, no fin damage. So if you've got a little bit larger tank and you want a statement maker, a Florida gar might be the one. And speaking about gars, we'll talk about the alligator gar. If you want a gar fish that will outgrow pretty much any aquarium you ever get, but you like the color morphs and you want to have one for a few years, this could be a very cool gar. These puppies get big, and they get that really cool alligator-like pattern on their bodies, but could be a very cool gar fish. They came in looking well, and there's not much else to say. I got 2 of them, and if you want one, you can be one of 2 people to get them. Keeping in with the odd fish and the aggressive fish, I know we sell out these every single time we get them in. I have got one. This is the rainbow wolffish, a very beautifully colored wolffish. We obviously have kept him separate because he is aggressive, but if you like or you want a species tank with a really aggressive, cool, different fish, check out the wolffish on Wikipedia. You can see what this guy will turn into. A beautiful, beautiful fish. Okay, platinum albino tinfoil barbs came in, looking beautiful. You can also see we've got in the Bala sharks at a great size. And we've also got neon rosy barbs, which I think are just phenomenal as far as the color. The yellow and red just sticks out so much. And the rosy barbs are so adaptable in so many different types of aquariums. You can see all these different colors working together. This is a really, really beautiful semi-aggressive tank. Last on the list this week are these really large green tiger barbs. They have got so much color, and they're so big and juicy and fantastic as far as their size, their girth. I absolutely had to point them out.
Hi guys, Reagan here. I'm going to show you the saltwater fish that I got in on Wednesday, but I do want to say that I have a huge saltwater shipment coming in on Friday. Like, it is very large, and I have the widest assortment coming in on Friday probably that I ever have. So I will be here on Friday to put them away, so I will be taking pictures, and I will be doing a huge Facebook post of everything that I got in on Friday as well. But for right now, we're going to take a look at what I got in on Wednesday. Alright guys, I know I talked about him last week, but I'm going to point him out again this week. This is a male Squareback Anthias. This is one of my favorite fish to add to any type of community saltwater tank. As you can see, this guy is not hiding, he is out and about, which is what they're gonna do inside of your aquarium once they get acclimated nicely. These guys very rarely hide. I think they're a fairly hardy fish. They're absolutely gorgeous. They have that beautiful purplish fuchsia square on the side. And something that's just amazing to me is the fact that nature created a fish that has a perfect straight line square on the side of his body. That's a completely different color than the rest of it. This guy is absolutely gorgeous. Since he is an Anthias, he will need to be fed more than once a day just because they're not foragers, so all of their diet comes from you feeding them. But this is probably my #1 pick to add to any of your home aquariums. Alright guys, this is a Longnose Butterfly. This guy, I do want to say that he is already eating. He's eating frozen PE mysis and frozen reef caviar. Fed him yesterday. He's eating like a champ. Very rare that I get a butterfly in that eats for me, especially on the first day, but this guy already is. He has a great weight on him. I've never ordered a longnose butterfly, decided to try it, and this is the perfect specimen of a longnose. Butterflies in general, you know, they are going to nip on some of your softer coral, so be careful of that if we want to try him. But I am very glad I decided to try this longnose because, like I said, he's the perfect specimen. He's already eating, great weight. He's perfect. Alright, so we're going to talk about another Anthias. This is the male Lyretail Anthias. These males are going to be a little bit darker red, more of a burnt orange with nice polka dot spots on his pectoral fins. Compared to the females are going to be bright orange. They're going to have a purple line right underneath their eyes. So this guy would be great if you have a school of female Lyretail Anthias, or if you want to get this guy and then you can get a school of female Lyretail Anthias. They look really good. The males also have a high, really high streamer fin on the top, like close to their dorsal fin, which you can kind of see here in the video. But again, an Anthias needs to be fed multiple times a day. But these guys are also very peaceful. They can go well in any type of community tank. Alright, I know we talk about this guy a lot, the Diamond Watchman Goby, but because he is such a hard worker for you, we do like to point him out very, very often. So this guy, like I said, is a Diamond Watchman Goby. He is a sand sifter, so you are watching him right now sift the sand on the bottom of the aquarium. These guys are great workers. If you want something to help clean your sand bed, if you're noticing a little bit of algae, or you just want to make sure that your sand does stay pristine, definitely come by and pick up one of these guys. They are great. They typically get along with any other fish inside of the aquarium, just not other gobies of the same kind. That is the only time that he will get aggressive.
Reagan got me a shark to hold my business cards.
As you know, I very rarely get in purple tangs, especially a purple tang this size. From its nose to the base of its tail, it's maybe 3 to 3.5 inches. So this is what I would call a small purple tang. This guy is great. He's eating well for me already. He has that really nice mustard yellow on his tail fin and his pectoral fins. And his entire body does have that really nice deep eggplant purple color. Purple tangs in general are going to be a little bit more on the aggressive side, but if you have a large enough aquarium and other fish that are going to work well with him, he would be an excellent addition to any home aquarium. These guys are very, very active and will add a lot of color and activity to your tank, and they typically, as long as, like I said, you have fish that are going to work well with him, he'll get along with almost anything. This is the biggest Niger trigger that I've ever gotten in the store. I would call this guy a medium-large Niger trigger. He is covered in a beautiful dark purple, and he has that really nice tealish green eye as well. Like I said, I've never had one in this large before. He is a really, really nice specimen for the Niger trigger. He already has really nice split tail streamers on his tail fin, which is very nice, and he has that really nice lighter colored dorsal fin that you can see him sticking up right now. This guy is absolutely stunning. Now, triggers in general are not reef safe, but they're not going to eat your coral. They're only not reef safe because they're going to eat inverts potentially. But the Niger trigger is going to be one of the more reef compatible triggers. So if you wanted to try a trigger in your reef tank and you don't necessarily mind losing a few inverts possibly here or there, the Niger trigger is going to be the trigger for you. This is my favorite fish that I got in on Wednesday. This is the yellow belly dogface puffer. I love pufferfish, and I haven't been able to order a yellow belly in quite some time. They're called yellow bellies because if you look right under his chin along his belly, he does have that nice mustard golden color right there, as well as on his tail fin and anal fin as well. This guy came in a great weight. He has nice white markings on his face, and right by his mouth he's got little white spots, but that's just his coloration. There's nothing wrong. He just has really cute mustache markings on there. Dogface puffers are more of a predatory fish, and since they have that beak, they really need to eat foods such as clams on the half shell to really wear down that beak, because we don't want it to get overgrown. So just make sure if we try one of these puffers that we really understand their diet, and we would be happy to discuss their diet with you to make sure that these guys are going to stay as healthy as possible.
Okay, that about wraps it up for the weekly update this week. Got a couple new things coming your way on the channel. We've had to make a few adjustments, so bear with us. Richard will be coming to you this weekend with his top 5 things. One hopes they're not all polyfilters, but that could be, so it could be a very long 8-minute drawn out thing on polyfilters, or it could be 5 different things. We'll see what Sir Richard has to say. I wish you all a wonderful week. Come see us. God bless and have a great weekend.